Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Richard Wilmore.
Hi everyone, welcome to Make Your Day Richer. Sit, relax. My guest has contributed to a deeply personal and necessary story to the anthology, Transforming Pain into Purpose. She's the wonderful Melanie Whittaker. She's back. We had her here last season. Melanie's chapter shares her truth about what it was like to grow up with a narcissistic mother, experiencing constant drama and the stripping away of her self-esteem. This book with 35 women's stories is all about taking an experience that could have crushed you and walking through the fire to find your purpose. Melanie's here to discuss how telling this story has been very healing for her and why sharing her most personal truth is the most powerful thing you can do, both for yourself and for others. So please welcome the brave, the brilliant Melanie Whittaker. Hit it, Big Infinite.
Make your day richer than it was before. Got some good times knocking upon your front door.
All right. Perfect, Melanie. Perfect. Hello. Welcome. Congratulations. All of the things.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes. Is this your first book that you've been a part of or written?
Yeah, it's the first book that I have written a chapter.
Yeah.
And it's the first time I've written anything that's been published.
It's called Transforming Pain into Purpose. How many women are part of the anthology?
35 in total. And what I think is wonderful is each woman has given her experience on something that could have crushed her, but she's walked through the fire. And what I feel really happy about this book is it's going to help so many people. Anyone who picks up that book, there's going to be a chapter that resonates with them, that makes them feel like someone understands what they're going through.
Which is what really it's all about. Tell everybody about your chapter, and then I want to talk about some of the other chapters so we know what people can find.
Yeah, well, funnily enough, there's quite a few women in the book who've discussed this, which is narcissistic behavior. And I grew up with a narcissistic mother, and anyone who's grown up with that will know that that's a living hell. And so it wasn't fun. And when it got really bad, as with anything, was my teenage years. And it wasn't because I was this wild child. It was because, well, you live in the shadow of that narcissist. So my mum wanted control over everything that I did. I was made to feel inferior with whatever I did. I would never be good enough. And when you're young, you want to achieve what they want, you know, those kind of things that they want you to do and the things that they're expecting you to do. And so you want to do well. Little do you know at that age, you're never going to do well in their eyes. And so you're constantly playing catch up, and then they create drama whenever they want drama. In my teenage years, there were rows every day. Every day was a row. Yeah. And so it wasn't a good time. And so you start to, your self-esteem is stripped away. And let's face it, at teenage years, that is when you're forming your character, your personality, how you want to be in life, in so many areas of your life. Yeah, so it wasn't a good time.
What made you want to write about it?
Well, I met Monique, who's the originator of the book, and I met her in a Facebook group. And so she told me, at first I thought it was just a podcast interview, but then she told me about this book, and the more she talked about it and the more I found out what the whole purpose of it was, I was like, oh my God, because I had never said that I wouldn't do something like this, but I wasn't actively seeking it either. I was just like, well, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And this was such a good fit.
I love that. What are you hearing from people that have read it, or what are some other things that are in the book that people are going to learn?
Well, I tell you what's really interesting, Richard. I have not done this which ironically, this is what narcissists are out. It's all about them. I haven't done this to massage my ego. I haven't done this so it's all about me. Like, I am so the reverse of what I do, which is marketing and public relations. I am so used to helping women get on many platforms, share their story. I'm the one behind the scenes. And so I've never, ever done this, ever, for myself. And so this is a learning curve. And what I didn't realize when I wrote the chapter is I found it very healing, because writing it out, at the end of the day, I mean, my mother's dead now, but it doesn't matter. Like, she was never going to accept me. And I made peace with that. And what I feel really happy about with this chapter is, for the very first time, I have a voice. And all of a sudden, it doesn't matter whether my mother would have accepted it or not. Like, if she was still alive, she could have sent me a message today if she was still alive and say, I can't believe you said this about me. I don't care. This is me. This is my truth. I'm not here to score brownie points. I'm not here to make someone feel better about themselves. And it was very healing to do that for me. On the flip side, so many people, well, women, have stepped forward and said, Mel, thank you so much for shining a light on this topic, because I've been through this. And it's been an eye-opener. And none of them had read the chapter. They were just saying, we're seeing you promote this. We're seeing the way you're showing up. We're seeing the kind of snippets and the breadcrumbs that you're saying. And we are so grateful that you are stepping up and discussing this topic.
Yes. And because I think for your chapter specifically with narcissists, they're so, I think, prevalent, and they hide themselves so well to everybody that they're not trying to have that control over, that when people do step up and say, I also have had this in my life, I mean, you probably see hands go up all the time of like, yes, me too. Yes, me too.
Yes. What's interesting, and I want to discuss something here, and I was saying it when I was marketing the book all over my socials before the book launched, that narcissists have two masks. So they have the mask for the abuser, and then they have the mask for the rest of the world. Mm-hmm. Now, imagine I'm a teenage girl living at home. I was fortunate that my late grandmother knew the score, and I could go and talk to her. She was wonderful. I'm going to be honest and say, if I didn't have that, there would have been nobody I could talk to. I would have been viewed as an attention-seeking teenager, because nobody would have believed me, because my mother was charming. My mother was wonderful. So if I was to have said, not my side of the story, she's not, and if I was to say some of the things that were going on, they would have just viewed me as a problem maker.
Yeah. What were some of the signs, the realizations that it wasn't normal the way that you were being treated?
This is so funny, because I had a conversation with a friend when I was drinking kava today. So celebrating the book. She's been through it as well, and we discussed this. And I tell you when it became really bad. It was when I was being a teenager and doing teenage things, going out with my girly friends. It was a really horrible time, because they knew I was going through it, and they knew that there was nothing they could do. So they were always reassuring me. Like, whenever we went out, they'd be like, are you really okay, Mel? Like, we're your friends. And if you're not okay, please let us know. And so I always felt like the sad case. They didn't do it for that reason. Yeah. But I was like, I just wish I could be a normal teenager, go out and not everyone say, are you okay? Are you okay? And there'd always be a drama. And sometimes my parents would involve their parents, and they'd be like, Mel, are you really okay? Because there's some real drama going on here. And I'd just be like, welcome to my life. My life is constant drama. So it was in my teenage years that I knew something wasn't right. And then when I was seeing my teenage friends lead a normal life and I wasn't, and the fact that they were constantly asking me if I was okay, I just knew this was just a disaster.
Yeah. Ugh. What are some of the other topics that are in the book?
Oh, there's going to be a mixture of all kinds. Like I say, some of the women have discussed narcissism. One woman discusses finding herself after being fired, and then she went and traveled out into Bali, and she's gone and, you know, done work that lights her up now. And so she's leading a completely different life, which could have gone a different way. When you're fired, you don't like yourself, and then you wonder what's going to happen to your future. There's so many different stories, and I'm just so grateful for every single one of them just stepping up and speaking from the heart, because it's interesting. I've just had a voice clip moments from getting on this call with you where one of my friends said, thank you for speaking your truth, because a narcissist doesn't want you to speak your truth. Yeah. And I've had several conversations with some of the women in the book. You know, sometimes it could be that, you know, the kids have left and now it's like, oh, you know, which direction is my life going to go in? And they're not too sure what they're going to do. And what I've loved when I've spoken to all the women in the book is they're done with trying to pretend and fit in a box. They're like, this is my truth. People don't have to like it, but it's my truth.
Yeah. Yeah. The book is called Transforming Pain into Purpose. It's volume 3 in this series, which is amazing. Out now. Go get it. I want to segue into, because Mel, outside of being an author now, helps people with PR. And so I want to talk a little bit about the benefits, what you think of being part of an anthology would be, or writing a book for people out there who want to help promote themselves.
Well, I'll address number one. So number one is, you say, what is the benefit of me being in this? The benefit is I can show this to all of my clients. I can show it to potential clients. Because at the end of the day, you know, we are what we are in our marketing. And, you know, you hear the phrase, the highlight reel. No one wants to come on and be woe is me and all of that. But life is life. And so now any clients I have, I'll be able to show them the book and say, hey, you know, this is a part of me. And it's interesting because a client that I used to have, I never put the pieces together. And one day we were talking and I just happened to tell her about my narcissistic mother. And she went, oh my God, this is why you do what you do. And I didn't even think about it. And I was like, what do you mean? And she said, because you didn't know, you weren't allowed to be you. You weren't allowed to be you, and you didn't feel safe to be you either in your own house. And so because of that, now what's happening is you are giving women permission to be themselves. And when they hit those wobbles and when they feel insecure, you're there to help them. And the second bit about sharing your story, it's so important. And I want to just say this because it's so, so true, Richard. I know that this is what I do, and I don't want people to think that I'm being one-sided, but it is the truth. I have these conversations daily, not even with just clients, but I have it with people who are not clients. If you are not sharing who you are in your marketing, you will get left behind. Why do I say that? I say it because there are many coaches in the world. There are many service providers in the world. I don't care what your niche is or what your industry is. The consumer is buying very differently now. And so I'm going to talk about the coaching industry. Many coaches for many years have been doing the flexing of the money and the flexing of the lifestyle. And in all honesty, now is not the time to be doing that in the world that we live in. That's very insensitive. And so what consumers are doing now is they want to know that you not only can chat the chat, but that you walk what you say. And they are looking for results. They want to know that you are going to help them fulfill what they have hired you for. And not only that, they want to feel like they want to work with you. Yeah. Whenever I hop on a call with someone, 9 times out of 10, they will always say, oh my God, you're just like you are online. And I'm like, yeah, because I'm not going to pretend to be something hoping that you'll be a client. because I don't work like that, number one. And number two, that's exhausting because I want to be myself when I'm hopping on calls with clients. I'm me. And likewise, I want them to be themselves. I'm not going to ask you to be something. So yeah, it's important. It's very important that you share your story, because that is what's going to help people decide if they're going to hire you.
Done. What's the best way that people can connect with you out there in the world?
There's my website and my social media. So my website is youareyourmarketing.com. And you can find me as Melanie Whittaker with the pink hair on Facebook. You can find me the same Melanie Whittaker on LinkedIn with the pink hair, and Threads. I live on Threads, which is You Are Your Marketing. Absolutely love Threads. I'm meeting so many amazing people on that platform, and it's a very positive platform. So if you're not on Threads, go on there. It'll change things for you.
All right, good. Before we head out today, will you play a game with me?
Go on, I'm all for games.
Okay, good. The name of the game is Pitch Perfect or PR Disaster, okay? And I'm going to give you some sample scenarios. You have to tell me if it's pitch perfect, that it's good and that it should have been done, or a PR disaster and it should not have been done. And if you get 3 out of 5, our entire non-existent studio audience gets a copy of Transforming Pain into Purpose, okay? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, number 1. A CEO posts a crying selfie after layoffs. Is that pitch perfect or PR disaster?
PR disaster.
That is correct. Number 2. A brand responds to a viral complaint with humor and a coupon.
Well, it depends on... Humor is always good, but it depends in the situation, because if it isn't a laughing matter, then that would be classed as insensitive. But the saving grace is they've added a coupon. So I want to say to that is businesses need to own their stuff. If they've messed up, acknowledge that. Laughing about it might not always be the best way. So I don't know the context in that, because if it was sensitive, laughing's not the way forward, but a coupon is the way forward. So I'm going to say that it's good.
That is pitch perfect. Exactly. All right, if you get this one, everybody in the non-existent studio audience gets a copy of Transforming Pain into Purpose. A celebrity announces their new tequila brand during a water shortage.
That's a disaster.
That is a disaster. But that was not a disaster because you got all 3 correct all in a row, and everyone in the audience gets a copy of Transforming Pain into Purpose, Volume 3. Melanie, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much, Richard.
Yes, and congratulations.
Thank you. I feel really happy about this. At the moment, I'm just go, 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 go. But I know when I get to bed tonight, I'll be like, we did it.
Yeah, we did it. We did it. And I think we're over time because I told her that it would only take 10 minutes and she has a lot to do today. So I'm going to let her go. And you come back after this break. Don't go away. I believe in the power of learning, and so does Smart Deal Academy. This incredible nonprofit serving the greater Charlotte area is changing lives through personalized tutoring, homeschool teaching, and enrichment classes for students of all ages. From pre-K phonics to private music and Spanish lessons, Smart Deal creates a safe, joyful space where kids grow in confidence and curiosity. This work only happens because of generous donations from those who believe every student deserves a chance to thrive. Every dollar fuels one-on-one support, creative programming, and the kind of encouragement that sticks with a child for life. Be a part of that impact by visiting smartdeal.com and make a tax-deductible donation today. Let's build a brighter future together. All right, that's our show, and that's our week. Have a great weekend, everyone. I hope you stay safe and warm. Go make your day richer. Go make somebody else's day richer. You've made mine by watching this show, and I love you for it. And we'll see you on Monday. Bye-bye.